So hello, BW, and welcome to another virtual table talk. You guys know I'm excited about this whole quarantine thing because I get to do virtual table talks with some phenomenal women. And so today I have with me Miss Rose Perez, Rose Regina Perez, might I add. And so I'm so glad to have her at the table. And we're going to talk today about self-care. But I want to just tell you a little bit about her. I met her through my son, Jeremy. They both went to Oakwood together. And when he was down there, he met some phenomenal people, I must admit. And he formed some beautiful friendships. And even after graduation, some of those friendships have lasted. And one of those friendships was with Rose. And so the reason I invited Rose on, first of all, I have so much love and admiration for this young lady. First of all, I just want to say that to you first and foremost. And then she has a twin sister. She's married to who I call my son because Chris is like a son to me and I love him dearly. So she's married to him. She has two beautiful daughters. And I found out last year that Rose was a poet. I know she told me something about she was going to Atlanta to this poet thing. And I'm like, oh, she's into poetry. But I didn't know that she was a poet herself. And so last year, I'm scrolling through Facebook, not that she sent this to me, and I heard this young lady that was speaking, and it blew me away. And it was you. And do you remember me texting you? I'm like, I didn't know you could do this. You got to send me the video. And so I actually posted your video on my BW page. And so if you all saw the young lady, because she's the only poet I have put in the BW circle on the Facebook page, this is Rose Perez. And so I want to tell you, young lady, welcome to the table. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. I feel honored that you asked me to join your table talk, and I have so much love for you and your whole family. I'm so thankful that through my husband, I was able to meet Jeremy and then his wife, Kayla, and connect with y'all. I love you guys so much.
Thank you. Now, I'm going to tell you why I had Rose on to do the self-care. So I told you I met Rose through my son. Now, when I see this young lady, when I tell you that she is the epitome of self-care and health, what health looks like, her body is on fleek. Her skin is like butter, you all. Y'all probably can't tell through the video, but if you're up on her, her skin is just like smooth like butter. She eats well. And she is just into self-care. And then I was talking to my daughter-in-law, and she was like, oh, now Rose is finna take it to another level. She's finna go vegan. I'm like, man, I got to get myself together. I got to get myself together. And so I told Kayla, I said, I'm going vegan today. She was like, wait a minute. You can't just go from being a pescatarian to a vegan. You got to slow it down. And so you have just inspired me to do more self-care because I know there's something that's been lacking in my own life. And so I want to get straight into today's topic. And I want to start off, Rose, by asking you, what does self-care mean to you?
To me, self-care is something that you do, no matter what it is, but something that you do that brings you joy, that you do. Some people may consider self-care something they do with other people, but for me, self-care is something I do alone. So anything that makes you happy and can take away stress and, relieve anxiety for the day, that's what self-care is.
Okay. I'm glad you said that it also relieves anxiety. So you would agree that it's not only the physical, but it's also the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, that it involves all of that.
Yes, absolutely. I think that sometimes when people think about self-care, they think about something they do maybe once a month or once a year that's really elaborate. Like, for example, take a really nice vacation, going to somewhere that they've always wanted to go, or getting together with some friends, every few weeks and doing something. But self-care is something that people should do every single day, because every single day we encounter stress. Some people may encounter depression, things that not necessarily make you happy or bring you joy. So you need to do something that's going to help you unwind and de-stress so that you can have the strength that you need to move on to the next day without carrying, all the excess stress and anxiety with you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, take us through the life of Rose. Take us through your exercise routine, your eating habits, your facial regimen. I'm really interested in the facial regimen. What do you do for spiritual self-care? Take us through a day of Rose Perez.
Okay, it's a little different now since we're in the quarantine lifestyle, but I think I'm going to back up first and start with what I do before the quarantine happened. So
Okay.
in the morning time when I wake up, I'll have my devotional, read the Bible or read a devotional book that I like, take some time and pray. And I try and do this early before anybody wakes up, before my
Mhm.
husband, before the kids, so I can just have that quiet time to, really study and have that alone time with God, because I need
Mhm.
that. So I try and do that every morning. After, I'll get the kids dressed and get them off to school, I'll go to the gym. And I usually stay for about 2 hours, and I'll do,
Wait a minute,
cardio.
pause. I don't mean to cut you off. 2 hours?
hmm
Oh, okay, I got a long way to go. Okay, keep going. I'm sorry.
when it breaks down, it's not that I'm, I guess, exercising the entire time. So let me break it down. So, when I get there, I do my little stretching or whatnot, and then I'll either do cardio to get me warmed up, or some intense cardio or some light cardio. So it just depends on
Okay.
how I feel that day.
Mhm.
So after I do my cardio on Mondays and Wednesdays, I'll do legs. So I'll do my resistance, and then on the other days, so Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, I'll do
Mhm.
arms. So I'll do my
Okay.
arm exercises. I take a break on Saturdays because I'm
Okay.
Seventh-day Adventist.
Okay.
And so we believe in not only self-care every day, but then there's a day of the week that you should just rest the entire day from all your
Yes.
work.
Yes.
And anything that brings you stress, and just spend that time with God, spend that time socializing and visiting with people you may never get the chance to talk to. Maybe go
Mhm.
visit and talk with some elderly people in a nursing home, or just helping out in the way that you can. Walk out in nature, enjoy God's beautiful creation. And then
Yes.
on Sunday, I'll it's that day is give or take. I may exercise or I may not. I don't hold it against myself if I don't. So it's,
Mhm.
I kind of go with the flow. If I feel like I want to go exercise, then I'll go exercise. If not, I'm like, hey, we're just gonna stay home and spend time with the family or catch up on some chores or whatever. So
Uh-huh.
I'll do that. And then also when I'm at the gym, sometimes I'll do the classes,
Mhm.
because it's easier when you can go into a class and not have to think about, well, what am I going to do next. I can just follow
Yes.
the instructor and know that I'm going to get a good workout.
Mhm.
So I always leave myself about 30 minutes that I can go sit in the sauna when I'm done,
Mhm.
because it's a really good detox. It helps
Mhm.
detox your skin, and helps you, release stress. For me, I love sitting in the sauna. Some
Mhm.
days that I don't have time to go work out, or something, unexpected happen, I
Mhm.
may just make time to go sit in the sauna because it's so relaxing to me.
Wow.
Um, for my skincare, I don't actually really do that much for my skincare.
Really?
Yeah, I found it very nice that you gave me such a compliment on my skin, because I see little spots that I guess other people don't notice, but
Mhm.
I don't really do anything. I do sit in the sauna, so that may help because
Mhm.
it detox your pores, and so you sweating all those toxins and stuff out.
Mhm.
I'll do that, and then I will, in the morning time, sometimes I'll use the Clean and Clear morning burst scrub.
Okay.
I use that when when I didn't sleep well the night before and I need something to wake me up.
Uh-huh.
I'll do that. For meal plans, I'm still trying to find, something that I feel like really suits my diet.
Mhm.
Like Kayla said, I am, trying to go vegan. I did
Okay.
really good for the first 2 months, but then I started kind of slipping.
Okay.
So I'm trying to stick with it. It's kind of difficult. Before
Uh-huh.
that, I was pescatarian.
Uh-huh.
And then I decided that I was going to do a raw vegan cleanse. And so
Mhm.
I lasted for, I think, 12 days. I'm not gonna lie, that was very, very hard to do.
Yes.
Um,
I've tried the raw thing. It is difficult.
it was very hard. So props to all the people who can do that for a long time, and some people who that's their natural diet. That's all they eat. Like,
Mhm.
big props to you. I support that 100%. I'm
Mhm.
not there yet, but hopefully one day maybe I can get there. So after I came off the raw cleanse, I was feeling great. I did a lot of juicing. I looked up meals that I could do that was
Mhm.
raw, and it just made me feel amazing. I get headaches all the time. After I got over the detox headache that you get from
Mhm.
going raw like that, I didn't have any headaches. My neck always feels stiff and like
Mhm.
inflammation, none of that. It was like great. I felt light and like I had more energy.
Uh-huh.
Um, so that was good. So after I did that, I was like, well, I think I want to just, go on to vegan since I came off the detox.
Uh-huh.
And I was doing really well, but then I started kind of backsliding a little bit. Like I might go somewhere and they didn't have anything vegan. So I'm like, well, I'm hungry. So it might have some mayonnaise on there that's not vegan. So it was little
Yes.
stuff, but I want to
Mhm.
try and get back to, strictly vegan because I did feel a lot better when I was, eating more healthy.
Yeah.
And then I try to eat, um, things that I know a lot of people say, well, since you're working out, how do you get your protein
Mhm.
and different things? And contrary to popular belief, there is a lot of protein in vegetables.
It
So
is.
you can eat plenty of vegetables. Of course, I like nuts. If you're
Mhm.
allergic to nuts, there's beans. I know some people can't eat beans and soy, but there's like I said, it's in a lot of vegetables. You just have to research which vegetables it's in. For people who can't eat soy, tofu is packed with protein, so that's another good choice.
Mhm.
And then there's vegan yogurts that has
Mhm.
protein in there and all that. So yeah.
Well, hats off to you. I've been doing pescatarian, but after talking about you, I'm 4 days in with the vegan thing, and I haven't even missed the fish, to be honest with you. I do a lot of salmon, a lot of tilapia. Tilapia being my favorite, even though I know that's not. People said that's not a healthy fish, and people even tell me that's not even a real fish. But that's my always go-to. My tilapia and salmon are my go-to fish. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and so now quarantine is in full effect. How has that changed your regimen at all? And not only, I want to ask you, how has that changed your regimen? And if you can't do everything that you want to do, like you listed off your day, what's the most important thing that you still have to do? Like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do this, but this is a must.
Mm-hmm. For me, one thing that I make sure I do no matter what is still my devotion.
Mm-hmm.
Even if like the time switch, because I do get up a little bit later sometimes, since
Mm-hmm.
everybody's home, the kids are home. Sometimes we might end up staying up a little bit later than
Mm-hmm.
planned. So I still do my devotion when I get up in the morning because I like
Mm-hmm.
to start my day off with God. I found that for me, when I do that, my day goes smoother. And even when it doesn't go smooth, like if I'm facing some type of difficult challenge, when I've
Mm-hmm.
started off talking to Him, I'm able to cope with the situation better. So for
Yes.
me, it's better for my spiritual health. And I know some people, like they may, do it in the middle of the day or in the evening,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, you feel like start, I guess, fits your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the evening time, I do try and have devotion with my children together as a family and my husband when we can all get together. I know sometimes it's hard with my husband's work schedule and then, trying to get the kids to bed on time. So that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes doesn't always go the way we plan, but
Yeah.
I guess the purpose, the point is to try to be intentional about trying to do things because we're human.
Uh-huh.
Um, Another thing I try to do during this quarantine time is to get some type of exercise. For
Mm-hmm.
me, I'm the type of person that I don't like working out at home. That's just, I'm not motivated. It's not fun to me. I just
Mm-hmm.
don't enjoy it. So instead of working out in the house, what I'll do is take a few walks a day. Like I'll try and take a long walk in the morning, take
Mm-hmm.
one in the middle of the day, and then I'll try and take one again in the evening time. Now, if I
Mm-hmm.
can't do this, I don't sweat. I mean, I'm not going to stress about it, but at least I
Mm-hmm.
try. But for me, doing the walking part, I guess it's easy because I love walking anyways. That's one of my self-care things that I do. If I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed or stressed out, I'm like, let me go take a walk, and then let me reevaluate the situation, or think about what's going on. So to me, walking really relieves everything, and then I guess devotion. Those would be the two musts that I have to do in the day if I can't do anything else.
Yes, yes. And I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people think because the gyms are closed, and I know even in some states the parks are closed. Like we're here in Mississippi, and we have a park probably 2 miles from us that's closed, but we have a park that's maybe a half a mile from us that's not closed. So you still can do the whole neighborhood walking thing. So when you travel, do your regimen change any? Traveling, does that throw you off?
It throws me off some, but I try and be intentional about planning when I can get a workout in, and when I can do my devotional. For example, we travel to Maryland a lot because my brother and my sister-in-law lives there, and so we may go there 2 or 3 times a year. And then we'll go to Florida a few times because my husband's family live there. And so I try and plan, okay, well, where are we going to be staying, and then what's our itinerary for the day, so that I can plan when I can get either a jog in or run. I mean, a walk, because I'm not a runner. I try and jog. So when can I get that in? I'll try and do, some little things around the house, like some squats, some push-ups, different things. And then devotion, usually, I guess since that's been a part of my schedule for so long, that to me is like just a part of it's to me it's like putting on clothes when I get up in the morning. That's just what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make time for that. So if somebody says we gotta be somewhere at 5, I'm waking up 30 minutes earlier so that I can have my devotion, or a few minutes early so that I can get that in. The workout, I'm not as strict about that as I am about trying to have my spiritual self-care. So
that's something you and I have in common. You're like me. I cannot start my day off without doing a devotion. If I know I have to be at work at 8 or clinical at 6:45, I'm getting up an hour early, because if I don't get in the Word of God in the beginning of the day, that's before my husband wake up, that's before my daughter wakes up, my day does not go right. It just don't go right. And like you said, if something do go wrong, because you are filled with the Word, you can handle that situation so much better. It's almost God knows what you're going to face that day, and He has a word for you just for that moment in time. And so if I don't do my devotion, my day is completely thrown off. One of the things you said about when you went on the raw diet, that your neck wasn't hurting, you wasn't having the headaches. People do not realize how many chemicals are in our food, especially the meat. And I've heard so many people who get off of meat products and be like, man, I feel so much better. I don't have this symptom or that symptom. And they don't realize a lot of it is caused from the chemicals that are in the meat. Now, mind you that I still eat fish, and I know fish has mercury in it. It still doesn't compare to all of the chemicals and pesticides and the carcinogens that's in meat, which probably why you didn't have the headaches, as well as dairy products, cheese, milk. All of those dairy products are known to cause inflammation, like you said, the neck part. So I would advise people to do their research and to try to aim for, even if not a vegan lifestyle, a vegetarian lifestyle, or the pescatarian lifestyle. You would just see, I saw a tremendous difference going from being a meat eater to a pescatarian. I see a big difference, even in, your focus, your mental focus. I see a big difference. One of the things you said that threw me, you said, I don't really stress that much if I don't get the exercise in. Now, little birdie told me, and I'm not going to say who that little birdie is. I was like, now, if this girl eat a piece of candy or a chip or something that she think is unhealthy, she going to have to do a double exercise. Be like, oh, I messed up. So now I got to exercise another hour because I ate this.
Well,
so you said, I don't stress that much over the exercise.
Well, let me clarify that. I guess
clarify that.
I don't stress that much over the exercise if there's not, like, if if I'm only missing a day or so.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it goes past that, I am stressing. Like when the whole quarantine first started, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because I'm used to going to the gym every day except for, Saturday. So I really did miss that. I do I guess I do, in that sense, stress a little bit when I can't go work out. But if it's only, for a day or so, or if I'm on vacation and my schedule gets a little thrown off, I won't stress as much then. But when I come back, it's grind time. I'm gonna be in there working.
So
But
do you really stress if you just mess up one day of eating something, a snack, a
Well,
piece of cake, or
that I used to stress more, I guess, when I first started working out, if I, messed up on my diet and I was eating, some sweets or something that had, too much fat in there or something. I'm like, okay, I really gotta go to the gym. I gotta, get this off. But then I started realizing that a lot of times the mistake that we make is we'll eat something that we know we shouldn't be eating, that's not healthy, and then we punish our body for it, and we're like, okay, and now I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to work an extra hour because I ate those extra calories. And I started realizing that's not fair to my body. What's fair is for me to be more cautious about what I'm putting into my diet, into my body, and then when I go to the gym, I can spend the appropriate amount of time working out my body, and I'm not punished it for something that I did, because I don't necessarily feel like that's right or that's healthy. And so now if I make a mistake per se and eat something that's not healthy, I might take an extra walk, but I'm not going to go to the gym and punish myself for it, because I'm like, okay, every once in a while it's okay to have something that you enjoy. And then there's also too a lot of healthier alternatives. For example, when I was looking for some sweet alternatives, when I'm vegan and all that, I found these cookies that were in the store that were made with no added sugar, no like processed unhealthy it is processed, but not a whole bunch of unhealthy ingredients. Everything on there, you could understand what it was. It wasn't these long words, and it was really good. And I gave it to the kids, and I was like, I feel 100% okay with giving my kids this dessert. And so we can find healthy alternatives. You can find vegan or sugar-free things that taste just as good as the ones that aren't. And sometimes people don't even know the difference. So that's what I started doing. I started researching things that I could have that I won't feel guilty about, eating it. So that's what I try and do now.
Yeah, I know Philip and I, we buy these vegan cookies from Whole Food, and I'm telling you, they are the best thing ever. They're raisin oatmeal cookies, but they're vegan. When I tell you they are the bomb.com. And then even the vegan chips, the little veggie straws, they're delicious. And so there are healthy alternatives. Something so powerful you said is that it wasn't fair to punish your own body for something that you were doing. And I thought that was so powerful. And I think that's something that women need to take heed to. And even me, I've been telling myself, because I haven't been exercising, I've just been really work focused and not self-focused, about self-care. And one thing I said is it's about preservation and not indulgence. And that's something I have to keep telling myself, which have been keeping me out walking every day since we have been doing the quarantine. The first week I didn't really do a lot of the exercise because of what was going on with my dad. But for the last 2 weeks, Jalen and I, we get up and we do our 40-minute walk, which is equivalent to 2 miles. Because I realize I have to preserve this body, and it can only be preserved by what I put in it. So I can't indulge and expect to preserve what God has given me. And I have to also remind myself that my body is my temple. And not only does exercise help me physically, it helps me mentally, because it just helps me to clear my mind. I can get more focused and I can think clearly. Another thing you and I have in common, I don't like to exercise indoors. I have to be out exercising. And I'm not really a gym person like you. I'd rather be outdoors in nature walking. But for the weights and stuff like that, I do have a gym membership because I know I don't have all the equipment that I need for outdoor activity. Let me ask you this one last question, Rose, and I'm gonna let you all. What is the one thing that you can tell the women that are listening to you now why it's important to take care of self? I know we in a busy generation where everybody is working, we have kids, we're moms, we're wives, and we just live in a busy life.
Yep.
So what advice would you give to them to take care of yourself first?
I think you pointed out well that, how we're wives, we're mothers, we have families, we work, all these different things. And a lot of times people will say, well, I don't have time to, self-care, that the baby's crying or the kids are calling me, my husband needs attention, I got to cook dinner. But if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of others. If you're completely empty and drained, you have nothing left to give other people. And so you're more on edge, you're more you might start yelling, or stuff will come out of you that you don't want to come out of you. When you able to stop and take a few minutes for yourself, you're able to give people the best of you, instead of what's left at the end of the day, or whenever you're burnt out. So I try and tell people, every single day you need to take time to do something that makes you happy and takes away stress, whether it's taking a walk or painting your nails, playing a little game on your phone real quick, or unwinding with a book. I know for me, this sounds crazy. This might sound crazy, but taking a shower makes me really happy. So even if I've already taken my shower, or, in the morning, if it's the middle of the day and I'm super stressed out, I might be like, listen, I'm about to go jump in the shower. And after this, 15-minute shower, I can get out and I'm going to be ready to face the world. But I'm going to do something that's going to, center me and bring me back to some type of happiness. Yeah, if it's calling somebody just to check up on them, or just going to sit outside, enjoying the pretty view, just something that you can do that's going to be like, okay, now that I've had my minute of peace, I can go back in here and tackle the kids. Now you have a more positive attitude, and you can give them all of your attention, your whole self, without being like, okay, I'm burnt out, I just need a second by myself. Even, for me, being at home in the quarantine time, I'm used to, dropping the kids off and then having some alone time. But since I don't, I know that, like my youngest is 4 years old, and she's always in my ear, mommy. She always want to do something. And so I was like, I have to find a way that I can get away for a minute and just relax. And so I went and hid in my closet and took my book. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go.
You actually hid in the closet for my baby.
Yes, I did.
Because even now you're in the car because you had to get away from Allison.
Yep, in the car right now. She's not in there by herself, guys. There are people in there with her. But I had to come to the car so she wouldn't, mommy, which is fine. You love being able to give attention to your kids, but you want to be able to give them the best attention that you have.
Yes.
And give them, energized attention and not be all drained out. So I would say, definitely find some time, 15 minutes if you can longer if possible, maybe an hour or so, and just spend some time on you, taking care of you, what you like to do, what you need, and don't feel guilty about it. That's another thing. Don't feel guilty about it.
Yes.
I used to feel guilty about having self-care at first, because I'm like, I need to do my responsibilities, taking care of the kids, all that. But those things are still going to be there when you get done. When you get done with your self-care. So you need to take the time to focus on you for a minute and regenerate. And then when you get back to those things that are still going to be there, you'll be able to give them more attention and maybe even find a little bit more joy in doing those things. So don't feel guilty about taking self-care. You need it.
Yes, that is so powerful. Two things you said. If you can't take care of yourself, it's going to be hard to take care of others, because you can't pour from an empty vessel. And then the second thing you said, don't feel guilty. And I think that has been one of the culprits for me, because I get to work and I may get home at 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and I'm like, I can't go try to exercise and do this and that because they haven't ate dinner. So it was a sense of guilt, or they haven't seen me all day, so how am I just leave and go to the gym and go exercise, So it's a sense of guilt. And then I had to tell myself, these are grown people. These are grown people that can cook. These are grown people who can take care of themselves. I don't have no small babies. So what am I feeling guilty about? And when I changed my mindset and I started doing that, then they cook for themselves, if I can't cook. So I totally agree with you. Rose, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. You have to come again to the table. You have to come back onto the table. And when this whole quarantine is over, we're going to have another BW event. And I need you there with your poetry. I need you at my next event. We got to get you from Nashville to South Haven because we need you at the next BW event.
Now, we jump on the road anytime. So, yeah,
Yes.
tell me the date. And definitely, I thank you so much for inviting me. This has been great. And yeah, I love chatting. So, yeah, this is great.
Well, I'm glad you joined us. And thank you so much. BW, you all be blessed. And as I always say, be better and practice self-care.